The sale season, well, it's gone. The iPhone season, well, that's gone too. What's not gone is the new phone season. And I'm not talking regular phones, I'm talking flagship phones. Some of these phones are getting some big upgrades, some of them are getting some downgrades too. And there's one phone that actually makes the iPhone 17 Pro look not so pro. Yeah, you cannot skip this video. What you need to do is hit that subscribe button and let's go. Okay, so let's start with what is probably the most hyped upcoming phone right now. I'm talking about the OnePlus 15, and yeah, OnePlus is jumping straight from 13 to 15. And if you're thinking why, you know how we don't cross the road when a cat is crossing? Well, the number 4 is considered unlucky in China. Okay, now this is what the OnePlus 15 is gonna look like. It's coming in this new sandstorm color, a new micro arc oxidation coating on the frame, camera module for better scratch resistance, and yeah, it's got a complete design change, as you can see. And I know people actually have mixed feelings regarding this. I mean, you tell me if you actually like this look. Another big news is, yes, the breakup is confirmed. OnePlus and Hasselblad have officially ghosted each other, and OnePlus will be using its own Detail Max image engine this time, which is supposed to result in more clearer and more natural shots, but can it compete with the more flagship phones out there? We'll see. As for other specs, leaks suggest a 6.78-inch 1.5 K AMOLED with 165Hz refresh rate, technically a downgrade from a 2K panel, but we're getting a 165Hz refresh rate, so we'll see how it goes. Now, reports do say that there will be a triple 50-megapixel camera setup with 3.5x telephoto, and there'll be some downgrades in the form of a smaller sensor, so the software better compensate. There's also going to be Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, a massive 7300 mAh battery, 120 watt wired charging, 50 watt wireless charging, IP68, 69, ultrasonic fingerprint scanner, the latest Oxygen OS 16. So you're kind of stacked, but also some doubts. Now, the OnePlus 15 is launching in China in October, basically this month, and in India it's coming in December, max January. And I think the cameras are very important now because of the controversial design change. Anyway, along with the OnePlus 15, the 15R should also arrive with the Snapdragon 8 Elite, a 165Hz display, a massive 7800 mAh battery, 120 watt charging, all of that around 40K would be pretty awesome, no? Now, the phone that looks like it'll match the OnePlus while keeping a low price is the upcoming iQOO 15, and yes, this is also going from 13 to 15, and from the leaks, it looks like iQOO is bringing all of those stuff that we're missing in iQOO flagships. I mean, first up, the iQOO 15 will have an interesting back design which can change color depending on how light falls on it. There'll also be an RGB ring around the camera like the previous iQOO flagships. The display is also said to be insane. A 6.85-inch 2K 144Hz AMOLED panel that uses Samsung's new 2K Everest screen, and this means higher brightness, lower power consumption, longer panel life, and yeah, it's coming with an anti-reflective coating. And first Samsung, then Apple, now iQOO. I'm really hoping more brands pick up on this. Other specs include the latest Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 along with iQOO's Q3 supercomputing chip for gaming, 7000 mAh battery, 100 watt charging, and for the first time ever, wireless charging on an iQOO phone. Finally. There's also said to be triple 50-megapixel cameras with a 3x telephoto, IP68 and 69 rating, a fast USB 3 port, an upgraded 3D ultrasonic fingerprint scanner, new Origin OS instead of OneTouch OS, and yeah, we'll be doing a video on this soon, so make sure to hit subscribe. iQOO is also teasing its cameras big time, and we've got some samples on Weibo, so yeah, this looks exciting. So yeah, the iQOO 15 looks like it brings some big upgrades, kind of matching the OnePlus 15 pretty well, and this is going to launch in China in October and coming to India in December. Now, if iQOO is undercutting OnePlus, who's undercutting iQOO? Well, it's the Realme GT 8 Pro. Yeah, the phone is teased already, and I'll say it looks different. I mean, there's this swappable camera module in collab with the camera brand Ricoh. Yes, like CMF, this will have 2 screws, so if you don't like it square, you can make it round, and there'll be 3 such options. And honestly, it kind of looks cute, I mean, you tell me. And just like the iQOO 15, the GT 8 Pro will also have a dedicated graphics chip called R1 for better gaming and visuals, along with obviously 8 Elite Gen 5. And leaks also suggest a 144Hz flat AMOLED with 2K resolution, an ultrasonic fingerprint scanner, a massive battery, 120 watt fast charging. The cameras too seem pretty packed from the leaks, a 50-megapixel LYT808 primary sensor, an ultra-wide-angle camera. The main highlight though is going to be the 200-megapixel periscope camera. Yeah, I know, sounds insane. This will also have the X-axis linear motor for good haptics, IP69 rating, and dual symmetrical speakers. I know it looks really solid on paper, and it all depends on the pricing. So Realme, please just... Now, as for when it's launching, this is launching in China in October, and this will be the first phone with 8 Elite Gen 5 in India coming in November. And yes, with the GT 8 Pro, there'll also be the regular GT 8, which like the OnePlus 15R will come with Snapdragon 8 Elite and slightly cut down specs. Now, the next flagship I'm truly excited about is the Xiaomi 17 Pro, and this has already launched in China. And if you're thinking why the Xiaomi 17 from the Xiaomi 15, well, it's not due to superstition. It's more like iPhone 17 Pro, Xiaomi 17 Pro. You get it. And you know what? Xiaomi actually had the same idea. I mean, the phone looks exactly like an iPhone 17 Pro, but with a screen on the camera island. Now, the back display has made a comeback on Xiaomi. Comment down if you remember the legendary Mi 11 Ultra. And now this phone can do what the iPhones can't. And the back screen can show watch faces, AI wallpapers, notifications, sticky notes, music, whatnot. And you can also use the rear camera for clicking selfies, just how we've seen on the Fold and Flip phones. And guess what? This can also turn into a retro gaming console with this Bluetooth case that Xiaomi is selling. I really hope this makes its way to India. I mean, no matter what you think of Xiaomi, this is definitely cool or innovative. Even the rest of the specs are very flagshipy, like Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, obviously, a 6.3-inch 1.5K 120Hz LTPO AMOLED, Leica Power triple 50MP camera, 6300 mAh battery, 100-watt charging, 50-watt wireless charging, ultrasonic fingerprint scanner, USB 3 port, IP68, and this will run the latest HyperOS 3. There's also the Xiaomi 17 Pro Max, I know, which has a 6.9-inch screen on the front, a 2.9-inch screen on the back, and even bigger 7300 mAh battery. But let's see if it comes to India or Xiaomi skips this one. Now, what is definitely coming to India is the Xiaomi 17, the compact flagship that will replace the Xiaomi 15. And this too will have some nice upgrades, like you'll get the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, a better front camera, brighter display, faster 100-watt charging, and a bigger 7000 mAh battery while keeping the same weight. And since we're talking about flagships, we will not forget about the Vivo X300 Pro. And we've seen how good the cameras are on the X200 Pro. And with the Vivo X300 Pro, Vivo is clearly showing off now. And from what we know, the Vivo X300 Pro is getting triple Zeiss cameras with the world's first 50MP co-customized Sony LYT-828 sensor. You've also got a 50MP ultra-wide and a 200MP telephoto with a big sensor size. And the telephoto here is literally bigger than the main camera on a lot of phones. There's also tele-macro support, and you can even use the telephoto converter kit. And the camera samples look very interesting. I mean, let's just look at these shots. This time, Vivo's also going heavy on video. We are talking 4K 60fps cinematic portrait mode, 4K 120fps Dolby Vision HDR, 4K 120fps 10-bit log, packed. I mean, basically, Vivo wants to give the iPhones a little bit of a panic attack, and it's going to be fun. Now, as for the looks, this is what the X300 Pro is going to look like if the leaks are to be believed, and the camera bump looks slimmer this time, so clearly Vivo has been doing some engineering on the internals. And like always, Vivo is skipping Snapdragon and using the Dimensity 9500 along with 2 extra chips just for image processing. The display is also a 6.78-inch flat 1.5K OLED LTPO panel with 120Hz. It'll be 7mm thin, pack a 6500 mAh battery, and also get 100-watt wired, 50-watt wireless charging, and an ultrasonic fingerprint scanner along with the IP ratings. Oh, and there's also going to be a special X300 Pro satellite edition with satellite connectivity, just like we saw on iPhones, but probably just for China. Even the smaller Vivo X300 is getting those Zeiss cameras with a 200MP main camera, a 50MP ultra wide, a 50MP periscope 3x lens. You'll also use the flagship Dimensity 9500 chip with a 6040 mAh battery, 90-watt charging, all the good stuff. And you'll also finally get wireless charging, USB 3 port, tele-macro, a better display, a bigger battery, basically fixing everything that the X200 missed. And all of that with the new Origin OS. And this seems like a perfect compact flagship, don't you think? Now, both of these Vivo phones are launching in China on October 13th, and these should arrive in India in December. Another phone that's always hyped up for its cameras is also getting better. I'm talking about the Oppo Find X9 Pro. This is what the Find X9 Pro is going to look like, and I know a lot of OnePlus 15 vibes, and this will use what Oppo is calling cold carving technology on the frame and the camera for a more premium look and to merge cameras seamlessly with the back. But while it might look like OnePlus, it's going to match the cameras on the X300 Pro. Now, this one's packing triple cameras with a 50MP main using the same Sony LYT-828 sensor as the Vivo, a 50MP ultra wide, a 200MP telephoto, and again, this will also be able to do 4K 120 video in Dolby Vision and 10-bit log. And just like Vivo, Oppo's also adding support for an external Hasselblad teleconverter for that extra zoom. And again, just like the X300, this will be using the Dimensity 9500 chip. There's going to be a 6.78-inch flat OLED display, 1.5K resolution, 120Hz refresh rate, ultrasonic fingerprint scanner, 80-watt wired and 50-watt wireless charging, IP69 rating. And Oppo's already confirmed a big-ass 7500 mAh battery on this one. Even the smaller Find X9 just looks as good with some bold colors. I mean, I personally like the red. And this too will have the Dimensity 9500, a 6.59-inch screen, triple 50MP Hasselblad cameras, along with a 2MP True Chroma sensor for more accurate colors, a 7000 mAh battery, the same charging speeds and IP ratings. Now, this kind of feels like Oppo's proper comeback with the Find series, and this is launching in China on October 16th, and it's coming to India in November. Now it's time for the flagship, the big daddy. I'm talking about the grandpa of the S24 Ultra, the great grandpa of the S23 Ultra. Yes, I'm talking about the Galaxy S26 Ultra. Now, to kind of disappoint you, the leak suggests the design will stay mostly the same as the S25 Ultra, but it'll be a bit thinner at 7.8mm. The weight should kind of remain the same. And Samsung is finally ditching those camera rings and adding a dedicated camera island, so kind of like the Fold 7. The big change though here is going to be the new privacy display. I mean, you know those privacy tempered glasses? Yeah, this will be basically built in here. So when it's on, your screen becomes less visible from certain angles, so anyone trying to peek can't peek. And the display is going to be totally new. 6.89-inch AMOLED with COE technology and M14 materials, which should offer a brighter screen, better color reproduction, third-gen anti-reflective coating, and yes, the S Pen with no Bluetooth, but a slightly curvier bottom. We all like that. And like all Samsung Ultras, this will get Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 for Galaxy. Battery stays at 5000 mAh if the leaks are to be believed, but charging speeds are finally going to 60 watts. There's going to be wireless charging with Qi 2.2 support, and this will support magnetic charging like the Pixel 10 and the iPhones. Now, as for the cameras, there are a few leaks which suggest that this will use the same 200 megapixel main camera, but with a wider aperture, while there are some other leaks saying this will use a completely new 200 megapixel Sony sensor. Apart from that, it's going to be a 50 megapixel 5x periscope telephoto camera, but with a wider aperture, a 12 megapixel 3x telephoto, and a new 50 megapixel ultra wide angle camera. Now, all that is good, but yeah, if they don't upgrade the main camera, well, I've got a bad feeling about that. But overall, yeah, the S26 Ultra seems like it'll bring a lot of cool new stuff, and there's even rumors that Samsung will make it in orange. No, please. And as for the launch, this will launch in January like every other year. Apart from the Ultra, there are also leaks saying that Samsung is launching a tri-folding phone on either October 31st or November 1st, so there could be this wildcard entry. See, if you look at all of these upcoming flagship Android smartphones, there's a clear trend here. A trend of more exciting smartphones, don't you think? I mean, there's clearly a focus on fresh designs, be it the fun stuff, be it the rear display or the swappable camera module. There's going to be some crazy camera specs, massive batteries, some insanely cool features. And honestly, I appreciate this because it looks like phones in 2026 are going to be exciting AF. I mean, which of these flagship phones are you most excited about? Comment down below. Thanks for watching. iPhone season. That's gone too. Same season. 57 to watch this video and you